Hello there. I'm so glad to meet you here. I'm Sonia and I welcome you to my channel Grammar Forward. Today's session is based on error correction. So we are going to take up some commonly made grammar mistakes and we are going to fix those mistakes. If you have watched my previous videos, you might be aware that currently we are doing a series on English verb tenses and we are already done with 4 of them, namely the present simple and continuous and the past simple and continuous tenses. So today we are going to deal with some of the commonly made mistakes made while using these 4 tenses. So let's begin. So here comes the first question for you on the board. Let's read a sentence together. 2 and 2 is making 4. What do you think of the tense I've used here? This is present continuous tense, right? Is making. Should I use a continuous form or just the present simple form? I hope you got it right. It should be present simple form that we use because here we are talking about a fact. So when we refer to a fact or something which is true scientifically, we always use the present simple. So this is wrong. But then the question is, should I write make or makes? You know that it depends on the subject. If the subject is singular, the verb also should be singular. For example, when I say Tom goes to school, that's right. But when I talk about Tom and Mary, it's Tom and Mary go to school. In the same way, here we have 2 and 2. Is it singular or plural? The answer is because it's an arithmetic formula, it's always considered as one single entity. So this is singular. So there the verb also should be singular. So I will write 2 and 2 makes 4. But there are a few grammarians who do believe that this can be considered plural subject and then they say 2 and 2 make 4 is also right. But this version is more commonly used, widely used around the world. So we can confidently say 2 and 2 makes 4. 2 plus 2 makes 4. And the second question. Look, it rains heavily. Something is wrong with the verb again. Here we use the expression look. So we are talking about something that's happening at the moment of speaking. So in that case, we have to use the present continuous form of the verb. So it should be not it rains, it is raining. Now the sentence is right. Ready for the third question? Then here it is. She doesn't has a car. What do you think of the sentence? You can see that here I have used the present simple tense and the negative form is used. So in order to make the negative, I have used the helping verb does. But you know that after the helping verb, we always use the root form or the base form of the verb. So what is the base form of this verb? It should be have. So this is the mistake. I have to use here have. So if it was any other verb, for example, she doesn't eat breakfast. We don't say eats. So it's the same thing I have done here. She doesn't, the root form, have a car. Now moving on to the fourth question, and here you find yet another very common mistake. I didn't have time to call you yesterday. So here I'm talking about something that happened in the past. So I use the past simple tense, but a negative form is used. That's why I used the helping verb did. And did is used because it's past tense. But then once the helping verb is used, it should be followed by the root form of the verb. So it should never be had. The root form is have. So here again had is to be changed to have. The next question is ready for you. They change often their seats at work. Could you find the mistake here? Do you think the tense is wrong? I don't think so because here we talk about a repeated action. So I use the present simple, that's right. Here the mistake is with the word order itself. So you can see that I wrote they change often. So the subject, the verb, and then often is an adverb of frequency. So the right order should be the adverb of frequency should come before the main verb. So it should be, they often change their seats at work. So first you have the subject, followed by the adverb of frequency, followed by the main verb. This should be the order used. Let's take up the sixth question. He wakes up very early this morning. What do you think of that time expression, this morning? Now it's already known here. So from the context, it's clear that this morning belongs to the past. So in that case, we have to use the simple past tense. So he wakes up is wrong. It should be he woke up. It's a phrasal verb. So it's he woke up very early this morning. Now let's meet with yet another oft-repeated grammar mistake. The water boils. Shall I make tea? What do you think of this sentence? Is there anything wrong here? Let's find out. You might have learned that when referring to water boiling at 100 degrees Celsius, we always use the present simple tense. That's because there we are talking about a fact or a scientific truth. But read this sentence again. The water boils. Shall I make tea? So from the context, it's clear that at the moment of speaking, this action is happening. So in this case, we have to use the present continuous tense. So it should be not water boils, it should be the water is boiling. The present continuous or the progressive tense is to be used. Now let's take up the next question. Did she be at school last week? You can see that it's a question. We use do or does or did with the main verb. But please look at the main verb here. It is be. You know that be is a special verb. It's very strong. It doesn't need any helping verb like do or does or did. Instead, we change the verb or we conjugate the verb be because we are using it with the subject she. Because it's singular, we just use the word was. So we have, was she at school last week? If it was they, we should write, were they at school last week? So no need to use the helping verb did. Let's look at the next question. He is reading before going to sleep every night. Do you think I've used the right tense here? I've used is reading. That's present, continuous or progressive. You can see that in the question, I've used the time expression every night, which is used when referring to oft-repeated routines. So because it's done daily, I have to use the present simple tense. So it should be he reads, not he is reading. Here is the next one. We were walking to school when suddenly it starts raining. In this case, two actions happened. The first one is a continuing action. So we used the past progressive tense, the past continuous. We were walking to school. And then some other action interrupted the first one. So what was that? Suddenly it starts raining. So you can see that something is wrong with this verb tense. It should be it started raining. So there are two actions. One is a long one. We were walking to school when suddenly a short action interrupted it. So it started raining. Past simple tense is used. Here is the next one for you. You are going to the dentist today? You guessed it right. What I meant is to ask a question. And you know that from the punctuation mark I've used over there, that's a question mark, and from my intonation. But in English, in order to frame a question, just using the right punctuation mark and the right intonation is not just enough. We also have to use the right word order. In English, we form questions in a very consistent way. We have a clear structure for that. And in this case, this is a yes or no question. So what is the right word order? We always start with the helping verb. So first you have the helping verb, and then you have the subject, and then you have the main verb. And if you follow this order, you will get your question right. So this is wrong. It should be, are you going to the dentist today? So the helping verb, subject, and the main verb. Here is the last question, which is also a bonus question for you. Let's read the sentence together. I do read a lot. What do you think of this sentence? Is there anything wrong here? You can see that I've used a helping verb, do, here. But it's not a negative sentence. It's not a question either. It's a positive or an affirmative sentence, right? So do we use a helping verb like do or does or did with a positive sentence? The answer is yes, we do use a helping verb sometimes with positive sentences. Then when do we use it? Imagine somebody just told me, you don't read a lot, do you? So he tried to say that I don't read that much, and then I want to deny him. So in order to emphasize my point, I say, no, I do read a lot. So this sentence is grammatically right. We use an emphatic do sometimes in order to emphasize what we are trying to say. Thus, we have come to the end of this session. If you enjoyed watching my video, please support by liking and sharing this video. And if you are new with me here, please do subscribe to my channel. Meet you in the next session. Goodbye until then. Take care and stay safe.